I challenged myself to create characters based on every single star sign. It's a crazy idea, I know. But today we're gonna create a Capricorn, widely known as one of the most interesting star signs, so I can't wait. Last time we made this for Sagittarius, so now we're gonna move on to Capricorn. Just gonna pop it here. There's a couple of little dots, but try and ignore them. The board that we're using is on Pinterest. It's at ChantelleArts, and all the characters are in here in order. The Capricorn dates are the 22nd of December to the 19th of January. This is the symbol for Capricorn, and I don't even know where to begin to explain what it looks like. I'm gonna try and draw it. I don't know. The colours are dark greens, browns and greys. So I've got walnut brown, Payne's grey and Hooker's green. I think those are the closest shades. And these are nothing like the colours that I normally choose. These are so dark and muted, and there's green, brown and grey. The archetype is the sea goat. I did not know that. And the ruling planet is Saturn. I don't even want to colour in this because it just looks so bad, honestly. Like, seriously, these are the colours that we have to use? The element is earth and the shapes are squares, but I don't think we'll use that. Let's have a look into the pros and cons of a Capricorn because it might piece it together a little bit. The strengths are they work hard, are cautious, responsible, economical, practical, and business savvy. And the weaknesses are stubborn, materialistic, and unforgiving. Okay, so from these strengths and weaknesses, what I'm getting is that Capricorns are hard workers, which we actually know from Scorpio. I mean, the strengths are that they work hard, they're practical and business savvy. None of those indicate that they're a nice person. The strengths are just that they are logical and they can get the job done. And the weaknesses lean into that too. But none of this says anything about them actually being nice people. Oh, and funnily enough, their tarot is the devil. So let's have a little look at some art inspiration, which is really cool. So this is kind of what the sea goat is. It's kind of like a mermaid goat. I'm not sure if I will do the horns. I wasn't a huge fan of Aries. Another one. And this is the sea goat. That's cool. This is kind of what we're going to lean into. I think the sea elements are actually going to be on our character rather than as a separate goat. Okay, so I thought of Amphitrite, the god of the sea, but I don't know if it's going to go with this color palette. It might actually, because this character is kind of a baddie, so maybe the color palette actually indicates that. I mean, we're saying that it's not a nice color palette, but it does lean into an actual Capricorn. Something kind of like this. I think we'll just get sketching. Let's see if I can piece it together. Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't realise the mic was off the entire time. I hope that wasn't too distracting. I mean, the idea that I had was for the skin to be blue, which doesn't go with the colour palette. I also kind of wanted to do like a sea god that can walk on land. So the earth element's still there, but it doesn't really fit with the water element. The colour palette is brown, grey and green. So how am I supposed to create a sea god like that? Unless we go very dark and moody, perhaps? Almost like a sort of dark border that's all around to sort of go with the moodiness. I mean, we're going to make this character look very bad if we do that. If you can kind of picture like a blend that is like a black border around the outside. Obviously she's missing a little bit of head, that will be there. A dark border around the outside that kind of blends. I'd like this to look like water, so this will probably be green. We could do like a dark green blue for the sea, so it's still very green leaning. So it's almost like murky, especially with the brown and the green. It'll actually look a little bit like a river, a little bit like murky water, which could be cool. She could just control all the water, so then it would kind of look like it is also all the dirty water too. I could make the skin tone green. The hair, that's where we could get like the brown element in. There is also light grey and a little bit of yellow, technically. We've got the trident. This is so different from the last one, honestly. honestly. But then it's also really different from Scorpio. I like the idea that the frame is going to be kind of dark and moody though. This is going to be the most difficult painting I've ever done. Wish me luck. Capricorn is one of the most intriguing signs of the entire zodiac, as all of their traits are incredibly straightforward. Really, it just depends on who they are as a person, which changes how each of the traits are seen. As an earth sign, they are grounded, realistic, and practical. Capricorn is also a cardinal sign, which means they are dynamic and have lots of initiative. They are fearlessly ambitious and have an incredible resilience. They are determined, and any knockbacks will not stop them. As you can imagine, all the traits from being an earth cardinal sign don't really imply where their morals lie. They are neither generous nor selfish, peaceful nor fiery. They are natural leaders, but don't really seem to have the people skills to bring a team together. A Capricorn is so ambitious and determined, they can often come across as cold, emotionless, and maybe even cutthroat. But this doesn't come from a place of malice. They are simply logical and focus on the long-term goals. From their perspective, if an issue won't matter in 5 years, then it really doesn't matter now. But they also apply this logic to those close to them. As a natural problem solver, they will try to fix everything around them without concerning themselves with whether they want it to be fixed or not. The emotions of the situation are rarely taken into account. The only thing that matters are the logical next steps and the solution. Again, making this earth sign seem more cold than they actually are. The more long-term perspective of a Capricorn, coupled with their focus and determination, does combine into probably their worst trait. They are incredibly unforgiving. If you hinder a Capricorn or wrong them, it will not stop them from moving forward, but they will never ever forgive or forget what you did. And I'm thinking we're gonna lean into this aspect a lot for the next character. So what is a water goat? Honestly, I have no idea. I don't know where this has come from, but it doesn't seem to relate to their traits. There aren't really myths or legends around it, and I guess we are kind of using the water goat idea since a water goat is half goat, half fish, kind of like a mer-goat, and we're making a mermaid. Kind of alike, but I wouldn't really look into that too deeply. The same thing kind of applies to the ruling planet Saturn. At least I've heard of Saturn before. Apparently, Saturn is the father of civilization and agriculture and was held in very high regard by the Romans. The same as Jupiter, but for the Greek equivalent, Saturn is Kronos and Jupiter is Zeus. And the fun thing there is that Zeus actually overthrew Kronos and his whole family to rule as the Greek gods that we know of. I am definitely taking some parts of that, definitely the less gruesome parts for this story. That's everything that makes up a Capricorn. At the end of the day, a Capricorn will excel at anything they try. For better or worse, a Capricorn will achieve anything they desire with a focused, determined, and disciplined mindset. It's a powerful combo. So, shall we meet Capricorn? Our Capricorn is a powerful merfolk. Whilst others control the deep sea, balmy tropics, or serene lakes, Capricorn's world is that of polluted, stagnant waters, confined to the marshlands high up in the mountains, far away from the open ocean. Capricorn plots and grows in strength, holding on to her bitter truth. But this wasn't always the case. As a young mer person, she was kind and caring and regal. She had to be, as she came from a long line of merfolk that took on the immense and important role of caring for the seas, the home of all merkind. The waters her family looked after were bright blue, vibrant and full of life. Whilst the merfolk didn't have a king or queen per per se. They did see the merfolk that looked after their ancestral waters as basically that. And Capricorn was born into this line of legends with incredible sorcery. It was all but guaranteed that she would follow in her family's footsteps and take this honoured position. It was a lot of pressure to put onto a young merfolk, but Capricorn took it in her stride, or swim, I guess. She excelled in her studies, learning the history and politics of all the families in their civilization, even going as far as trying to learn the landwalkers' language. Everything was going according to plan. However, when it was time for Capricorn to be assigned her role, the elders set up a trial to give all the up-and-coming merfolk an equal opportunity. It was quite a simple trial, a race that tested all aspects of being a true merfolk, physically, spiritually, and even testing their magical abilities. On the day of the race, Capricorn found a letter that had been pushed through her door stating that the course had changed due to jellyfish. Instead of going over a large cliff halfway round the course and swimming on top, they were to pass through the canyon instead. The letter held the symbol of the Elder Council, so Capricorn accepted that it was from them. At the start line, a fellow merfolk asked her if she received the letter, confirming that it was correct. Sadly, Capricorn didn't notice the sly smiles of some of the other merfolk around her, too focused on her own path forward. As the race progressed, Capricorn was way out front with the others not even in sight. It was plain to see that she was the obvious choice. However, when it came to the cliff, Capricorn followed what the letter said and took a shortcut through the canyon. When she reached the finishing line, she was met with horrified faces. All the elders accused her of cheating, the arrogance to even attempt such a thing, making a mockery of all of their traditions. Capricorn tried to find the letter, but it was gone, and suddenly all of her classmates had no idea what she was talking about. She had been tricked. As punishment for her actions, Capricorn was banished, exiled to look after polluted and stagnant waters high up in the mountains, as far away from her home as they could send her, where no friends, family, or any other merfolk could be seen. Over the years, the waters of the marshes changed her. She adapted to her new environment. A bitter, resentful flame burned away inside her, and she would do anything to right this wrong and reclaim her rightful place at the heart of the seas. She plotted, schemed, and grew strong over years and years of focus, determination, and resentment. Capricorn never forgave and never forgot. Someday, Capricorn will return to the oceans once more. And that is the sad tale of Capricorn. Their backstory was mostly inspired by the color palette. Somehow I think we've kind of made brown, green, and grey work. I'm not too sure about the painting though. I don't think I can look past the colours. I think it works for the character, but knowing that these are the colours, maybe we should have refined it a little bit more at the design phase. I liked how the sketch looked quite loose and the anatomy wasn't very human-like. They were quite round, and I think some of that was lost in the painting. I also designed the dress with that in mind, and I don't think it really works in the end result. I'm also not a fan of the hair. The hair is supposed to look like it's underwater, and that's why it's flowing and it's everywhere, but I'm not sure that that really comes across. I did decide to just stick with that color palette and not add any blue, which is probably why the piece really doesn't look like it's underwater, but I'm glad that we stuck to the challenge and used this crazy color palette instead. What do you think? What do you think of the character, the story, and these colors? I think the colors are crazy. I genuinely do, but I think maybe we made it work. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. Thank you so much for joining me on another episode. If you've missed any star signs, make sure to check out the playlist down below. We've only got 2 left, and I'll see you back here in a few days' time for the final Daily Doodle Diary episode in the Purple Book. See you then. Bye bye.